Welcome, traveler. It's time now to let go. The world of the waking is dimming. The day's weight has softened into dusk, and all the sharp edges of your thoughts are beginning to dissolve. You are safe now, here in this quiet space where nothing must be done, and nowhere calls your name. Let your body become still. Feel the hush wrap around you like ancient velvet, like moss on stone. There is no rush here, no burden of time, just the long breath of a story, drifting like fog over forgotten hills. In a place far from ours, and yet strangely close, like a half-remembered dream, there lies the land of Aeloria. Its skies are the color of memory, its forests stitched from shadow and silver light. This is a place outside of endings, where time moves not in hours, but in seasons of stillness and slow wonder. And within Aeloria's hidden vale, high upon the dreaming cliffs, the Last Watcher waits. This is their story, or perhaps it is your story too. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The Tower Above the Fog. There are lands not marked on any map, where memory outlives time and silence has weight. Aeloria is such a place. It lies between the folds of dusk and dream, where no sun rises and no night truly falls. A half-lit world adrift in endless twilight, where colors seem remembered rather than seen, and air moves like breath across glass. On the crest of Sky Hollow Ridge, where mist clings like moss to ancient stone, there stands a tower older than most gods. It rises from the bones of the earth as though the mountain grew it in sleep. Its shape is not proud nor imposing. It leans gently like something listening or remembering. No name is carved into its foundation. No banner flutters from its crown. Only ivy, heavy with dew, coils across its surface like silver veins. Within that tower lives the Last Watcher, and tonight, like every night that came before, they are awake. The Watcher's movements are slow, deliberate, and unburdened by urgency. Each step echoes lightly down the spiral stairwell, muffled by age and moss-draped stone. There is no lantern in their hand. The tower does not need light. Faint glows emerge where needed, soft and organic, like a sigh remembered. Their robe trails behind them, thick and soft and gray as moon clouds. On its hem are stitched patterns of curling branches, sleeping beasts, and stars that no longer hang in any sky. They wear it not for warmth, but for remembrance. They pass a window shaped like a crescent. Beyond it, the valley. Endless trees, blue, black, and whispering, stretch like waves beneath a drifting fog. The trees here do not grow wild. They dream. Rooted in memory and time, they move only slightly, as if turning over in sleep. Far in the distance, a cluster of floating lights drifts lazily through the trees, not fireflies, not torches, something older, perhaps the souls of stories never told. The Watcher does not name them. Naming breaks stillness, and Aeloria is a place of hush. They pause at the base of the stair and run their hand across a wall of stone. There, a relief carved so lightly it almost disappears, the image of a tree with no leaves, its branches forming a circle around an open eye. The watcher touches it with reverence, though they cannot recall carving it. Did it grow there too, as everything in Aeloria seems to grow? The hall of windows greets them next. It is vast and curved and quiet. Dozens of arches line its outer wall, framing the sky in long slices, each window showing a different stillness. Some reveal stars spiraling slowly in unfamiliar constellations. Others show only mist. One shows a forest frozen in a single season of falling leaves, the golden rain forever suspended. The watcher walks its length with bare feet. The floor is smooth and warm. No sound follows. Time in this tower is not measured in ticking things. It pools and laps and settles like dust. There are chairs, tall-backed and empty, facing each window, each one worn smooth by decades, perhaps centuries, of quiet sitting. The watcher has occupied every one at least once, and tonight they choose a chair carved from pale driftwood. It creaks slightly as they lower themselves, though the sound is more of welcome than protest. They rest. Not because they are tired. Tiredness is a foreign language now. But because stillness must be shared, not merely observed. From this window, the sky seems impossibly close. Clouds drift like silk scarves. Between them, the stars blink, slow and solemn. It is said, though none are left to say it now, that each star over Aeloria is a story forgotten by its teller. Some flicker, some burn, some fade gently until they are absorbed back into the dark. The watcher has long since stopped mourning those stars. They watch, as is their place, and they remember, not facts, but feeling. Tonight, a new star appears, dim, uncertain, not born of fire, born of longing. The watcher tilts their head, observing. They whisper no words. Words break things, but something like breath stirs through the chamber, a soft flutter, like pages turning in a closed book. Later, they descend further to the garden court. There is no roof above this place, only the open sky, rimmed by crumbling archways where vines sleep and orchids bloom under starlight. The air smells of stone and sweetness, and time folds in on itself here. The sleep blooms have opened. Translucent petals shiver gently in the air, catching starlight like dew. These flowers open only at night and close at the moment of waking, though waking rarely comes to Aeloria. The watcher kneels among them. They do not pluck, do not press, do not prune. Their presence is enough. The flowers lean toward them slightly, a gesture of recognition. To the west, the mirror lake reflects the sky without interruption. Its surface is undisturbed as always. Even wind dares not touch it. Only once long ago did the watcher place a fingertip upon its skin. they saw not their reflection, but a corridor of doors, some open, some shut, none labeled. They never tried again. Now they merely watch and wait. The night deepens, though no darker than before. The tower becomes a vessel for thoughtless being. The watcher returns to their upper chamber, simple, circular, and hollow of excess. Here is the only bed, though it is seldom used. A window opens directly above the pillow. Through it, the stars tell stories only silence understands. They do not lie down. They sit upon the edge and let their hands rest in their lap. Their thoughts are not thoughts anymore, more like shadows of them, echoes of what echoes used to be. They listen, and there is no sound. They breathe, and even that is quiet. Beyond the world of walls and stones, something vast stirs, not with noise, not with motion, but with presence, as if the veil between dream and memory has thinned by a breath. The watcher lifts their eyes to the sky. The stars shimmer. The valley holds its breath. They feel something reaching, not towards them, but through them. A soul beginning to remember, a dream beginning to form. A traveler, perhaps, one who is just now beginning to drift. The watcher closes their eyes, a moment of reverence, a welcome without words, and somewhere far, far away, in another world entirely, someone lies down to sleep. The tower watches, the valley waits, and the Last Watcher of Aeloria remains. Always the watching, remembering, becoming. Chapter 2. The Library Without End. There are places that do not end, because they were never truly built. They were dreamed layer by layer, thought by thought, by those who needed them most. The library without end was not crafted by tools or hands. It began as a whisper beneath the tower, then a hallway, then a staircase, then more. No matter how long the watcher has wandered within it, they have never touched its edge, and they have never wanted to. The entrance lies behind a narrow door, tucked beneath the root-like stair of the watcher's tower. The door is plain, but the key is not. The watcher carries it always, a shard of pale crystal tied with thin gray ribbon. It opens the door not with a sound, but with a breathless release, like fog being exhaled from an ancient lung. They descend. The stair curves downward, but not in a spiral. It bends like thought. It shifts with memory. The walls are not stone here. They are shelves. Books press close, spines silent, pages unread. They give off a faint warmth, like moss kissed by sunlight that no longer exists. Most bear no titles. Some glow, some hum faintly when passed, others dream in silence. The watcher's hand drifts across the bindings as they walk. They do not read, they feel. Each volume is a feeling forgotten by its owner, a love never spoken, a sorrow buried too deep to name, a hope that flickered once, then vanished. They are not stories. They are echoes. The hallway opens suddenly, though it has no true door. The library breathes wider here. Chambers unfold like petals, soft-walled, domed, carpeted in velvety dust. The ceilings are impossibly high, and yet the watcher feels no weight from above. There are windows with no view, just slow golden light that trickles in from a source not of this world. The watcher steps softly across the chamber. They do not need to choose where to go. The library listens, and it leads. A shelf bends forward. A book slips free, not falling, but floating gently into the air. It finds the watcher's hands. The cover is smooth, black, and breathing. When opened, it shows no words, just a scent. The scent of the sea, not crashing waves, not salt on wind, no. The scent of waiting at the edge of something vast, of standing where the shore forgets its name. The watcher closes the book. It hums once in gratitude and returns to its place. Time does not move in the library, only presence. The watcher drifts through it like smoke, like thought, like the shadow of a long-forgotten song. And the library shifts with them. A corridor opens, long, narrow, with low shelves covered in candles that never burn down. Here the books are smaller, fragile, each one the size of a breath or a secret. They must not be touched, only remembered. The watcher bows slightly, walking slowly. The air here is thick with memory, like walking through the scent of an old scarf, or standing in the space where someone you loved once slept. And then they pause before a book shaped like a stone, heavy, warm, silent. They kneel, not out of reverence, but recognition. This book remembers them, though they cannot recall its pages. Their fingers press gently to its cover, and the silence deepens. They see not words, but shapes. An orchard at dusk, a hand in theirs, laughter beneath rain, a home once. Then it fades. The book sighs shut, and the watcher breathes again. There are rooms in the library the watcher visits only rarely. One holds nothing but mirrors, but none reflect the present, only maybes, could have beens, what almost was. Another is filled with wind, wind that does not move air, only feeling. It brushes past skin like memory touches bone. There is also a room of lanterns, each one lit, each one floating slightly above the floor, each one pulsing gently with someone's name, not spoken, felt. The watcher stands among them. They do not search, they are not looking. But one lantern drifts closer. Its light is the color of candle wax and dreams. The watcher closes their eyes. They feel the lantern's light enter them, not to warm, not to guide, just to stay. And it stays. Then it floats away. At the heart of the library is a lake, small, still, lit from below by pages instead of stars. Books lie beneath the water, open, glowing. Their words rise in bubbles. The bubbles do not pop. They rise, then vanish. Vanishing is sacred here. The watcher kneels at the lake's edge. They do not drink. They do not wade. They simply watch. And the lake remembers them. Above, the ceiling disappears. The sky of Aeloria watches in turn. A single star falls. It does not land. It becomes a book slipping into the water without a sound. The library accepts it, as it always does. The watcher stands, their robe brushing the quiet floor. They turn back. The library will close itself behind them, though no door will ever shut. It does not lock. It does not need to. It lives. And it waits. As they return to the stair, the hallway lengthens again, softly, without threat. The watcher ascends slowly, never looking back. They do not need to. The library is always with them, in thought, in silence, in breath. And tonight, a new dreamer has entered sleep. Somewhere far from Aeloria, a mind begins to drift. The library stirs. Shelves adjust. A place makes room. And the watcher watches. Chapter 3. The Clock That Never Chimes. There are places where time forgets itself, not because it has ended, but because it has ceased to matter. In the deepest part of the Watcher's Tower, past the stone gardens, beneath the roots of the dreaming stairs, there lies a chamber where no clocks move, but time still lingers. It gathers there, soft and unmoving, like dust in the corner of a room that was once loved. The watcher calls it the still heart. Not aloud, of course. Names are not spoken in Aeloria. But the thought of it hums softly in their mind each time they descend. Tonight, the way is longer than before. The stairs seem to breathe. The air is cooler, not cold, just touched by memory. With each step, the watcher feels the past curl gently around them like a shawl worn only in dreams. Moments gather at their feet. Longing curls at the base of their spine. But nothing presses, nothing pulls. This is not the past's hunger, only its presence. At the bottom, there is no door, only a stone archway, carved into the wall as if time itself opened it. The room beyond is perfectly round. Its floor is smooth and gray, with soft flecks of silver that shimmer like breath. A single clock stands in the center, tall, ancient, and unmoving. Its face is a deep bronze, tarnished with silence, its hands still, neither pointing nor resting, simply existing. Around the chamber's curve, other clocks rest. Dozens of them, no two the same. Hourglasses without sand, sundials with no shadow, watches without hands. Delicate spirals made of glimmering stone that hum faintly when approached. None make a sound, none measure anything. They are time not as motion, but as memory. The watcher crosses the floor in silence. Their bare feet touch the stone with reverence, as though it might bruise. They pause before the central clock. Its pendulum hangs motionless, yet heavy with meaning. It does not swing, but it listens. The watcher places a hand upon its side, and the chamber breathes. A hum rises not in the air, but in the soul, soft as warmth, old as breath. The watcher closes their eyes. They do not move. They do not speak. They remember there was a boy once long ago who waited for someone who never came. Each day he counted time by the pattern of leaves against the window. Each hour he listened for footsteps that never arrived. He grew, and the waiting became a part of him. The boy's name is not remembered, but his waiting is here, in this room, tucked gently inside the curved glass of a pocket watch that no longer ticks. The watcher kneels beside it. The case is open. Inside, instead of numbers, there is only a sketch, drawn with the softness of memory. Two hands held, a window open, leaves drifting. They close the watch, and time folds back into stillness. Far across the chamber, an hourglass shimmers. The watcher walks toward it. The glass is curved like a shell. Inside, there is no sand, only light. A dim, silver light that moves not in grains, but in sighs. Each sigh is a moment someone wished had lasted longer. The watcher watches. The light does not descend. It does not ascend. It rests, held eternally between no longer and not yet. The hourglass is cradled in a frame of pearl and driftwood. It once belonged to a lighthouse keeper who watched a sea that never rose. Each night she waited for a storm that would never come, and when at last she slept, her patience folded into this glass. Every object in the still heart is such a story, a moment unmeasured, a beat between two thoughts, a sigh that lingered. The watcher moves between them without map or need. They do not catalog. They do not study. They simply share the room's breath. They allow it to be. Tonight, the central clock pulses faintly beneath their hand, not with movement, but with memory. A presence enters the watcher's mind, not foreign, not named, just felt somewhere far from the tower. Someone hesitates on the edge of sleep. Their thoughts spiral, their breath catches, time for them slows. And in that pause, a piece of their stillness finds its way here. The central clock absorbs it, not as weight, as whisper. The watcher opens their eyes. They say nothing, only press a palm against the bronze. A quiet acknowledgement. The chamber is darker now, though no light has dimmed. Shadows stretch not from shape, but from silence. The watcher stands once more in the middle of the room. They do not feel the need to stay, nor the need to leave, but the time, such as it is, has settled. And so they rise. Their robe brushes the floor. Their breath is long and slow. As they walk toward the archway, the clocks do not follow, but they notice. They remember. As the watcher climbs the staircase once more, the steps hum softly beneath their feet. The tower accepts their return, and far above, beyond the layers of stone and stillness, the stars shimmer. One of them flickers slightly. A hesitation, a question. The watcher does not answer. They never do. But the star remains. Aeloria does not mark the passage of time. It receives it, folds it, stores it gently in chambers like this. The watcher knows this. They have always known. And tonight, another traveler lies awake, drifting slowly. Another moment of almost rest becomes part of this place. The watcher climbs in silence. No chime sounds. None ever will. But time is listening, and it is enough. Chapter 4. The Garden of Sleepless Trees. Beyond the base of the tower, past the moss-draped stones and the faint glimmer of half-remembered doorways, lies a gate made not of iron or wood, but of woven branches and soft silver thread. The watcher opens it with no key, only presence, and the moment they step through, the air changes. Here the world is softer. The garden of sleepless trees does not sleep, but it dreams. The path is narrow, paved with flattened roots and fallen leaves that have not browned or broken. They rest as if freshly laid, yet some have been there for centuries. The trees surrounding the path are tall and pale, their trunks smooth as river stone, their bark bearing no marks of age or weather. They sway not with the wind, but with thought, gentle and slow, as if their own dreams tug softly at their limbs. Each tree has grown in its own quiet spiral, some bending inward toward themselves, others leaning toward unseen points in the distance, as though listening to something too far away to hear. No two are the same, but they are all part of a single rhythm, a single stillness. This is a forest without time, where growth is not measured in rings, but in memory. The watcher walks slowly. Their feet leave no mark, but the trees know they have come. Some part slightly to widen the path. Others hum faintly, not with sound, but with a vibration in the chest, like the feeling before a thought takes form. Here, every tree holds a dream that was never spoken aloud. Not nightmares, not visions, just quiet thoughts, those that passed through a mind in the night and drifted away before morning, the kind that feel too light to matter, but linger. The watcher stops beside a tree that leans so far inward it has almost curled into itself. Beneath it, the earth has given way to a shallow hollow, filled with fine strands of moss and what appears to be rainwater, though no rain falls in this garden. They kneel and touch the surface gently with their fingers. A ripple forms, not in the water, but in the air above it. For a moment, the scent of a distant place reaches them, ink and lavender, a curtain billowing on a summer evening. A name is almost spoken, but it dissolves before it can take shape. They sit beneath the tree, letting its shadow settle over them like a memory. From somewhere nearby, a low sound begins to rise, not music, not wind. It is the hush of all things that might have been said, but were not. The sound drifts lazily between the branches, rustling leaves that shimmer faintly in a color that cannot be named. The watcher breathes it in. 'Tis not meant to be understood, only felt. After a while they rise again. There is no need to mark the time. It has folded itself back into the bark. The path continues, winding gently past trees that carry stories in their sapwood. Unlived moments, alternate turns, a kindness withheld, a door not opened. Further in, the trees grow closer, their roots interwoven like the lines of a forgotten poem. The canopy above thickens, but does not darken. Instead, the light softens, filtered through translucent leaves that glow with an inner luminescence. The watcher pauses again, this time before a tree that has no trunk at all, only a ring of branches growing upward in a spiral, leaving the center empty, like a memory that was once there and has since been lifted. They step into the circle. Instantly, the world quiets, not in silence, but in something more complete. Here, even thought feels like an echo. In the center of the spiral stands a small pool, no larger than a bowl, filled with still water that reflects not the sky, but the watcher's own face, though not as it is now, as it once was, or might have been. They do not react. There is no surprise and recognition here, only acceptance. The reflection shifts. The face becomes unfamiliar, and then familiar again. Another life glimpsed, another self who stood in this same place under a different moon. Perhaps all watchers have stood here, or perhaps there has only ever been one. Stepping back from the spiral, the watcher resumes their slow walk. The path bends gently again and opens into a glade. At its center, a single tree stands alone. It is the tallest in the garden, though its roots are shallow, barely disturbing the earth. Its leaves shimmer between silver and deep green, and its bark is inscribed with delicate markings that shift as the eye tries to follow them. This is the first tree, or so the watcher has always believed. Not because anyone told them so, but because the air around it insists upon reverence. They approach and sit cross-legged beneath its wide boughs. Here the dreams are strongest. They come not as images, but as sensations. Cool stone, quiet rain, a bed warmed only by memory. No story forms, but something within the watcher feels restored, like a page returning to its book. They rest there for a long time, or perhaps no time at all. Eventually, the glade begins to dim, not into darkness, but into quiet. The trees lean back. The whispers soften. Somewhere beyond the garden, the tower calls, not with sound, with stillness, with return. The watcher rises slowly and follows the path again, the gate drawing closer with each step. As they pass once more beneath the woven arch, the trees do not say farewell. They do not need to. Their dreams have been shared, and in sharing, remembered. Chapter 5. The Room Where the Stars Fall Inward. The tower stretches high, but the staircase winds higher still. Past the archways carved from breath, beyond the quiet rooms where time gathers like dew, the watcher ascends. The steps grow thinner, the air lighter. The world below fades, not in distance, but in weight. They carry nothing, not even memory, for up here, memory dissolves into presence, and presence dissolves into stillness. There is no door to the final chamber, just a veil of light, soft as dust, parting like mist as the watcher steps through. The room they enter does not obey form. Its walls, if they are walls, move gently like the surface of a deep lake, mirroring not what is seen, but what is felt. The ceiling curves away into forever, speckled with stars, not above, but all around. Some drift gently upward, others hover in stillness. A few pulse slowly, like the rhythm of breath just before sleep. In the center of the room stands a basin, carved not from stone or metal, but from something older, perhaps silence itself. It holds no water, no light, only a soft pull, like the tide inside a shell. It draws nothing in, but everything toward. The watcher stands before it for a long while, not waiting, just being. Then slowly they sit. The stars begin to turn, not across the sky, but within the room, as if gravity has reversed its meaning. They fall, not down, but inward, into the basin, into the watcher, into memory, and past it. Each star carries a moment, a thought once nearly forgotten, a kindness given without witness, the hush of snowfall, a hand reaching in the dark, the final note of a lullaby, the silence between two people who understand each other. The stars fall gently. They do not rush. Nothing in this place ever does. The watcher closes their eyes. They are not tired, but full. The kind of fullness that comes at the end of a long, silent night, when the sky has begun to pale and the world has not yet remembered its name. Around them, the stars continue to fall, not endlessly, but slowly enough that no moment is ever missed. This is the heart of the tower, the purpose behind the watching, not to guard, not to judge, not even to keep time, but to witness it, to hold it, to let it fall inward, where nothing is ever lost. The watcher's breath slows, their presence softens. They are not vanishing, only fading into what was always there, and in that silence, not sleep, not waking, something settles, a quiet, a completion, a light that does not shine, but remains. The stars, now fewer, drift more slowly. Some return upward, others nestle into the basin like petals on still water. The room grows quieter. The veil of light at the entrance closes, not with finality, but with peace. Outside, Aeloria holds its breath, and somewhere in the garden below, a tree shivers softly, its leaves catching the memory of a voice never spoken aloud. The watcher does not return, but their stillness remains. For in Aeloria nothing is ever gone, only remembered differently. And so the tower watches on, without time, without end, bathed in the soft falling of stars, that fall not from above, but rise forever inward